This podcast is not rated. Listener discretion advised.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching the best movies ever made. Our website is mission250filmcast.com. Our list is frozen there. You can go there and see what movies are coming up next. I'm one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John
and TC.
And this week, we are watching number 112 on the top movies of all time list, which happens to be the 1959 movie Some Like It Hot, directed and written by Billy Wilder. The synopsis is, when two male musicians witness a mob hit, they flee the state in an all-female band disguised as women, but further complications set in. This week, it is my turn to review it first, you guys.
Hey.
Good.
Hey.
Go.
Ding, 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 ding,
best
ding,
movie,
ding, ding.
best comedy of all time.
I'm gonna
as
high
voted by
five.
many people.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to high-five the list.
Hey, I know.
The list did me right this time. I feel like I would have never, obviously heard of this movie before, but I never really...
I'd never heard of it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I never did.
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I don't know. I can see why I wasn't shown it as a kid by like my dad or anything for obvious reasons.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleavage in this movie, and
Yep.
it's pretty much about sex, and not in an adult way, but in kind of an extremely like a horny teenager kind of way, almost. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't like an innocent.
Screwball comedy, basically, is what
Right.
this is. This is like Porky's back then.
It's like better
The
than a Benny
Revenge
Hill
of the
movie.
Nerds.
Yeah, but it's better than
Yeah.
those for some reason. I think it's. I don't know. I don't know why. Because it's older. It's a little classier, a little funnier than those movies. But there was something. I think the innocence between all the characters and like the actual. I don't know. It seemed like the two lead characters were actually friends in the movie, even though they kind of like gave each other shit. They kind of had like a brotherish relationship where one of
Yeah.
them bullied the other, and they kind of got in trouble together and stuff. And
Yeah.
but they still like stuck together. Like, and even like after they were arguing, there were scenes where they're yelling at each other, and they end up just like sitting on the bed next to each other. It's like, oh, this is all like very kind of nice. Like even though they're constantly getting molested by men, and they're also trying to like screw all these women, there's something wholesome about it, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know. Do you guys
Wow.
feel the same way?
It's a way to describe it. Yeah,
It's a
sure.
way.
I mean, it's a way. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not the way they film Marilyn Monroe in this movie. There's no way I feel like a straight man could ever watch it and just not stare at her and just
Oh,
almost
my
not pay
God.
attention to anything else that's going
You know,
on.
Denny, I was going to try to avoid all that talk.
Why?
Now that you bring it up.
It's
Fair
one
enough.
part of the movie.
My fucking God. No wonder why the president was all at Twitter.
Yeah.
Ay, that one. I was watching the whole one. I'm like, I see it. I totally
Yeah.
see it.
I've only ever
Yeah.
seen pictures of her before, and I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but then seeing her in like
but,
motion and
her,
stuff.
and her voice is just so pleasant, and everything she does is so pleasant.
Yep. It's pretty
Except
great.
for the only thing I didn't like was when she kept calling herself a dummy. I didn't like that. I got to
Yeah.
say.
yeah.
That was bothersome. I mean, I'm like, that's the times. They're doing such a good job at, making fun of the times, right? Like, oh, I'm just a dummy, right? And it's
Yeah.
funny because, like, that's how people thought back then, which is not funny. But
That's how. I mean, that's how she got famous
funny.
too. She like was the dumb
Yeah.
blonde character. That was her persona.
She was not happy about.
No.
Yeah, she didn't seem dumb though. I don't know.
Well, except for like her whole arc of falling in love with the same type of guy again, even though she should have learned her
That's
lesson.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everybody. What are you talking about?
That's
No
true.
one falls. Typically, no one falls in love with the people like on a frequent basis. That is good for them.
Yeah.
Typically,
That is true.
when you do, that's when you usually get married, and that's it. But like
Right.
typically, when you're out there, you're schmoozing with everybody, and you're just like, yeah, I fucking go for the same one every time. They hate my guts. I still love them. Right? That's what it is. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
This one, this is so. I'm with you, Denny. I like this one quite a bit. So
Yeah.
keep on keeping on. Yeah.
So I was surprised. I thought it was a comedy just because I had heard about it. I was surprised the first like 25 minutes of this movie. Well, it was not very funny at all. I thought it was kind of cool, just like the speakeasy scene and like the Tommy guns and the
that
cops and
neat.
all that
I like
stuff.
that. Yeah. I like the whole
Yeah.
coffin, the booze in the coffin.
Yeah, it was
that
still
whole setup.
interesting.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
interesting.
And it certainly, drove the plot in the ways that it needed to go. But as soon as like as stupid as it sounds, as soon as they put on the women outfit and started acting like women or how they thought they should act like women, I was basically laughing at every single thing they did.
Well, it was like a Monty Python movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I kept thinking about.
Yep. But Monty Python does it like a little too over the top where it's like, oh, no one in this, you're not supposed to believe people believe these people are actually women.
I mean, when they were walking and he was making the stupid duck face and he was like moving his shoulders, that was
dude.
like every
time they did little runs,
hysterically.
they had like different little runs with their arms out, and this sounds, I don't know. It's extremely sexist, kind of, but it's also kind of, it seems loving, and I don't know if you guys can help me out to describe why I don't feel bad really liking this movie so much, because just like talking about it, you're like, oh, you twist your wrist and you put your elbows up and you kind of hop around and you act just like a girl or whatever. You know?
It's like the caricature of a female that they're acting like. And it's so far off, but they're not completely wrong. They're just not, I'm with you.
Yeah. But I mean, also, the other girls kind of do it too, I guess.
But I feel like they're doing that. I feel like they're doing that on purpose to match somewhat of what these characters are trying to do. So there's like, I don't know. It was something else. I'll tell you, this is a hell of a very forward movie for forward-thinking movie for back then. I have to say. Yeah,
and I got questions about one of the relationships. They're like, a pair. I don't even know between what's the name of the people? The Daphne character, and the old creepy ass dude.
Yep.
I'm confused by the whole thing, but I gotta be honest.
Loved it.
I loved how happy he was when he got back. That was like my favorite part of the movie.
He's shaking the maracas on the bed and he's like singing. He's having a blast.
The other guy's just trying to like snap him out of it, and he's like, "What are you gonna do about
Say
the
you're
honeymoon?"
A boy. Say you're a boy. Say you're a boy. Yeah. Come back to me. Where'd you go? Yeah.
He's completely losing his mind. And I don't know what the whole point of the movie is. Maybe there's not a point, and that's fine. I feel like it's one of the movies where it's just having fun and trying to entertain. But I don't know. The ending feels like it's kind of saying something too, where it's like, and it's saying something that a lot of people nowadays don't really say, which is like being attracted to somebody sexually isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like human instinct, and it can be looked at as like not disgusting, but like wholesome and part of what makes people go. Like nowadays it's all about like finding somebody, like, sex. If you're only into somebody for sex, that's shallow and you shouldn't do that. It's bad. But I don't know. We're humans. Something there.
Well, it's not just not sex too, but from the guy's perspective. From the women, it's sex and money. Don't forget.
Well, not money afterwards, because she doesn't care. He doesn't have any money.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't really know what she wants, and I don't even know.
I mean, it's a good point though. If there was no money and there was no yacht, would she be that interested?
Well,
at the time,
it certainly got her attention.
Right.
Yeah, okay. But she was attracted to him just from the get-go because of how he looked.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing of like, well, what, if she wasn't hot, then the man would want to have sex with her, right? Like, it's all the same. Like, I see what you're saying, Denny. It's touching on like both sides of just kind of the dumb shit, and everyone gets so caught up in it when realistically, like, this is what people like.
Yeah, it's like if you're attracted to somebody, you're going to fuck.
This is what it is. I'm sorry, but, people like stability and people like sex. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
That's right? True. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's too bad that we all have to be so shameful over it now.
I know.
Because there's a lot of fucking weirdos out there too. So, it's all that's happened is like the extremes are now coming towards the middle, and the middle is like, well, let's just not talk about it and it'll all go away.
Yeah.
But the extremes never go away. They're there, right?
Yeah.
So, you just have to be a nice person, and then this stuff is funny. If you're a predator and a creep, this stuff is like, I don't know, a breeding ground.
But something else this movie does, I think, is that the old creepy dude starts off and ends as an old creepy dude, but somewhere along the middle, I stopped being grossed out by it. Yeah, I started liking him a little bit.
That's true.
I don't know how it does it. I think it's just the acceptance from Jack Lemmon's character.
Its whole life just sounds so almost tragic in the sense of, as he just relates one catastrophe after another. It just sounds like things are a big mess for him.
Yeah.
And he's sort of happy-go-lucky about it. So,
plus he's horny as shit, apparently.
He's just ready to go at all times.
He pinched me in the elevator. God. And this movie
also is a funny movie.
Yeah, hilarious throughout. Well, not throughout. Like the gangster stuff in the beginning wasn't too funny. It was pretty funny at the end with the gangster stuff, minus the violent stuff. I don't know. There was like a couple lines that bald-headed gangster guy said that had me laughing pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's celebrate your birthday. And he's like, it's not my birthday for 4 months. And he's like, what's a few months between friends?
I'm like, when he was doing the shifting back and forth, some people would say that.
But I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, right.
That whole part was pretty funny.
That was really funny. Yeah, some people would say and then he's like, and he gets really pissed. He's like, but I wouldn't say that. That was classic. I mean, I love that in the wiki there, the British Film Institute said that this is 50 films you should see by the age of 14, which goes to your other point about like, how this is about it's like written by horny teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It seems that way.
It makes sense.
But again, I've seen like Meatballs and Revenge of the Nerds and I don't know, that kind of stuff. This is definitely on a different level than that stuff. I don't know why though.
Yeah, it seemed to have that same feeling though. I don't know. It's just it's far less. I don't know. It's more upscale, I guess.
Yeah, it's
but
more fancy, better
Yeah.
production value, better acting,
right,
better
right.
writing, maybe funnier jokes. It's not too crass, I guess.
No, not too bad.
It's kind of hidden
No.
in its crassness. Like there were
Right.
things I didn't even notice, like when Marilyn Monroe was kissing Tony Curtis when he's like trying to trick her, when he's telling her that he like I don't know is asexual or whatever the hell he was doing.
By the way, what a move.
What a plan!
I was-
What a
I was
risky
sitting there
move!
like, this guy is really going for it here.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. Well, he figures, what the hell? I got to go back to a woman in a few minutes. Might as well see how far I can take it.
You have to be so confident in yourself to be a man against Marilyn Monroe, and then just over and over again saying, I'm not
a
attracted to
thing.
women.
Not
Yeah,
a thing.
Not a
I don't
thing.
feel a thing. Yeah.
And he did it
Why
so
don't you
many
try
times.
one more time? Oh, man. What a stupid thing that is, but it was funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That scene got them banned in Kansas, by the way.
I'm
did
sure
it?
it did.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't, that's not
Wow.
surprising.
And parts
Banned
of
in
other
Kansas,
states, and like
huh?
parts
This
of Tennessee.
movie would still get banned in Kansas.
What is this movie even rated? Because I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of movie you wouldn't show a teenager, but a teenager would find and like a lot, maybe.
I don't know. It could be a good thing to show this to a teenager.
Maybe.
You got to put some fucking
Freaking hair on their
humor.
chest.
No, put some humor and all the fucking seriousness that we're all, this kind of shit encompasses now. Everything's
Yeah.
so serious for the kids. Oh my god! What do they go? Oh, how could they learn what reality is so soon? God forbid. I mean, it couldn't be bad.
That's probably true, but I'm in that, I don't have kids, so I don't know. It's going to get worse.
I
by
don't
the
know.
time I
Remember
have
health
kids that are
class?
14.
I remember health class. We had a teacher that would go into some crazy shit all the time. This movie would have been better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, TC. And I'm thinking about my sex ed class in sixth grade,
Yeah.
too.
My sex ed class was crazy. I remember sitting there being like, what's up with this teacher? This teacher's ridiculous.
Yeah. And the ending. I don't know. I think the ending deserves all the credits it gets. That last line is so perfect for the movie.
What was the last line? Let's hear it.
Well, nobody's perfect. When he finally admits to being a man, the guy's just like,
Right.
without skipping a beat, he's like, no one's perfect. Like,
It
the guy
was-
doesn't even care what sex he
It
is.
doesn't matter. He's so happy to have a company.
Yeah.
that is fun.
They had
it
such
doesn't
fun
matter
dancing, whatever they were dancing, that's
Yeah,
all. He just wants to
I
do
thought
that
it
again.
was. I thought it was great. Like it blew the guy's mind too. He took the wig off. He's like, fuck it, it's
Yeah.
over. And the guy was like, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're still getting married. I
I'm
don't
not
give
turning
a
this
fuck.
boat around. We're going, dude.
Yeah,
Here we
we're
go.
going. That was great. It was just it really was great
Yeah.
ending. I'm surprised this was made back then, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised it was made back then, too.
But I guess it was right on the cusp of the 60s that was very free love and hippie. So there might have been an audience that tested well in Cali at the time for this type of thing.
Yeah, the first test screening they showed, people walked out and it was not generally received. And like
Oh.
the studio was like, Billy, we have to recut this. And Billy's like, nope, we showed it in the wrong neighborhood. This movie is great. We're going to keep it as
Right.
is. Let's just show it somewhere else.
Right.
And then
That's
they went
a
to
good idea.
LA to like one of the, progressive parts of LA in the late
They're like, this is
1950s.
fantastic.
And they cheered. Yeah. They're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So he was
And
right.
then they knew. Yeah, he was.
Which is crazy because sometimes directors kind of don't know. Even when they
Yeah.
make a masterpiece, they're like, I don't
No, I'm
understand.
gonna put a big hard dick in the beginning. They're gonna love it. No, Bergman.
No.
I don't think it didn't test well. I don't think it's the neighborhood.
Try it in a different neighborhood. Bergman, we've been all around the world. Everyone thinks it's weird.
This is the 40th
Everybody,
opening.
really,
Nobody
it's
likes
universally
it.
not working,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bergman, there are people 50 years from now on these things called planes with these things called laptops, and they're going to be watching it, and the dick's going to show up, and they're going to
it's
embarrass
gonna
themselves
show
in
up,
front of their
and they're gonna have to
coworkers.
slam the laptop broken.
And go,
They're not even shut.
What was that? Oh my God.
I have a podcast. I watch a pod. I watch pod. Nope. Never mind.
I don't even
Never
like
mind.
art house movies. This guy makes me do it. It's awful. I don't want to do it. I quit. All right, I quit.
Sir,
fire
the
me.
captain wants to talk to you up front, please.
You have the whatever officer is waiting for you on the ground to arrest you as soon as you get there.
right. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
John, what
John.
did you think?
What? I'm just sitting here enjoying you guys enjoying this.
Oh, what?
I
Where are
didn't
you at?
like it.
Come on.
I don't know why.
What?
Yeah.
He's too old.
Your sense of humor is dead.
Age.
Oh,
Maybe.
God.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a failure. I'm sorry.
He's been married too long.
It's because the first
Yeah.
5
That's what it
minutes
is.
weren't funny.
That's what it
That's
is.
why.
All the joy is gone. Yeah, that's a
All
good
the
point,
joy is
actually.
It took 25 whole minutes.
He was asleep
Yeah.
after 10
Right.
to 15. You missed the whole movie.
Arguably, that's
Yeah.
right. The like ship had already sailed, and so I was like,
I've had enough.
Oh, now it's funny. I don't care.
Honey, get the tea. Put on the tea. I've had enough.
Yeah, this movie didn't get me at all. I didn't even find it that funny.
Wow.
I don't know what's wrong
wow.
with me. I have a problem. I'm going to go check myself in tomorrow.
He's a
Dude,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Did you laugh once throughout the movie?
No.
What?
Nope.
What?
Dude,
Nope.
okay.
How
I
is
was
that
laughing
possible?
I don't
consistently.
know. I'm trying to tell you, I have a problem. I'm really worried.
Were you in a bad mood when you watched it?
I was tired as usual.
Well, typical, yeah.
So, wouldn't call that bad mood. I mean,
Wow.
Regular mood.
regular mood.
My
all be
day to
relative.
day, we call that day to day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Although I did learn something, and I never know. It's funny to think that there is a kind of clothing that you've never seen before in your life and had no idea it existed.
The kind where you think there should be nipples showing by that point, but there's no nipples to be seen?
No,
Oh.
that's not uncommon.
Are we
but-
talking about? Are we talking about what's her name again?
When she's
No,
on
I'm
stage, she has the dress with fucking, like, I'm just like, she's
Right.
naked. Where's her nipple? She's completely naked.
Hey,
You were looking for nipple, huh?
Looking
Yeah.
for
I
some
was looking
nipples.
for nipple too. I noticed there was one shot where they had the spotlight on her. They kept it right above the breast. So I
Yep.
was like, that was a smart move.
was intentional.
That's a big move.
Mhm.
They probably had it on her lower, and they were like, "No way, can we put that in the film?
Yeah.
Move that up."
No,
Yeah.
possible, yeah.
Go
we
on, John.
can't blame stupidity on that.
What
Anyways.
clothing?
Spatterdashes.
What is it?
Spatterdashes, otherwise known as spats.
Oh, the spats, Johnny.
Oh, the shoe
Spats.
covers.
I'd never seen those before. Those were the weirdest thing when I saw them. I was like, what? Who, what? I was just
It
completely
just makes it
confused for
harder
a while.
to put on and take off your shoes, it looks like.
Yeah,
Well,
it looked
they're,
weird.
They're these like, they just got a little strap on the bottom and then they just sort of fasten around the leg. And I guess, it's one way to keep your socks clean.
But then your
I guess.
spats get dirty because people
Well,
spill stuff
yeah.
on them.
Right. But then, and also like it seals off your shoes kind of more though. So then nothing's going to get in your shoes.
Except
you
for
know?
liquid because it's cloth.
Well, yeah, right. Fair. But not sand or dirt. I don't know. Anyway,
Who's going onto beaches with spats on? If you're dressed that fancily?
I don't.
Fancily.
Fancily. Making up
It's
words
He's
over here.
fancily. He's fancily. He's fancily clad.
Well, it is. They are supposedly protective. That actually they used to be part of military uniform
Interesting.
So,
For like
to prevent
like
mud,
the
dirt,
well-decorated
sand
people?
but to also just to provide ankle support to keep dirt, sand, and mud from entering the shoes.
Ankle support.
Mhm.
Ooh, ankle support.
What was that? John, you didn't laugh at that line about the ankle when the old guy's grabbing Jack Lemon's ankle and he's like, oh, I love a finely shaped ankle.
Shaped ankle. I know. He's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He shakes it off. Yeah.
No.
I thought that was funny.
No.
I know.
Oh.
It's my favorite thing about doing this is enjoying a movie. So again, I take full blame here. Again, it did just strike me as I don't know, like very lighthearted comedy, and that's fine. I just was like, it's okay.
Wow.
But I find it not funny. Certainly, of course, I will admit Marilyn Monroe is slightly attractive. yes.
Slightly attractive.
Yes.
You let that one go. We got to let that one go.
Yeah, I mean, she's I don't know. She seems constructed in some ways, and she's had some plastic surgery done before then, chin implant, nose stuff, and possibly other stuff. But
And if you look at what she looks like naturally and like the hair and the face, it's completely different than what she looks
it's
like
quite
in
different,
movies.
But what she had a rough life, and she sort of persevered through a lot of things, and also battled some addiction, depression, anxiety, and so I don't know. It's not like she also was very smart and did a lot for herself.
Wouldn't you say that even though she's like very depressed and, on a lot of different kinds of drugs and alcohol, that she comes across as very light and like really good in this movie?
No, that's it. No, you're right. And that's kind of impressive given like the stories behind the scenes about this film in terms of how messed up she was.
Yeah, and how much she fucked up everyone else's time working on it.
Right. And how she couldn't I mean, apparently she could get it together and still do a good job at times and get through scenes fast. But then there were other times where she just couldn't say her lines to save her life.
Yeah.
And
there's
at the
reasoning
same
for that. I
time-
mean, there's like rumors that she was pregnant during the beginning of this movie
dear.
and that she lost the child like halfway through filming it. And
No.
that's when she apparently had multiple miscarriages.
Oh,
Tony
man.
Curtis, the guy who plays the not Daphne character. What's the other character's
Right.
name?
Josephina.
Josephina.
Josephine.
He also said that he had impregnated Marilyn Monroe. They had dated like 5 to 10 years before this movie came out. So like
Oh.
he
I was
had
going to say, the
relations with her.
makeout scenes between them looked pretty natural.
Yeah, he had done it before. He had practiced with Marilyn Monroe.
Apparently,
those
but they
scenes.
also had to do that one like many, many, many times.
I'm sure. Yeah, I fucked it up. Sorry, guys. I sneezed again. We got to do it again.
feel anything.
No, he said
I
he
didn't
wasn't-
feel
he said he
anything.
wasn't enjoying it. He said it was like kissing
Oh, yeah.
Hitler.
He said he wasn't enjoying it in the movie, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Saw that
John,
foot go.
his famous line, right? He said kissing her was like kissing Hitler.
Right. Yeah.
And if you look that up,
Wait,
he
why?
denies it for like 30 years, but
What
now
does that mean?
So he was on the commentary track and he said basically that he said it to a bunch of studio executives and it was overheard and spread around. He said he didn't say it for about 30 years, but then I don't know why, started recently
No,
saying
but what does it mean? I don't understand what that means. What does it
kissing
mean?
Hitler just in terms of that, I don't know, just generally.
Somebody
I don't think it means anything
really don't want to
specific.
kiss
Right.
after that.
Yeah.
After a while, I think that's all he was just saying. It, just because they had to just
Because working with her was very hard to do
yeah.
because of how.
Ah, right.
And Tony Curtis
Okay.
was actually the most, well, I don't know if the most. Billy Wilder and Tony Curtis seemed pretty angry with Marilyn Monroe. Billy Wilder knew what he was getting himself into because it was his choice to cast her in the first place, and he had already worked with her on 7-Year Itch.
Because it's a win-win. You know you're going
he's
to
like,
get this
well,
one to play.
she's going to
right?
suck to work with, but this movie's going to be super successful because she looks
Yeah.
great on camera.
Then you gotta wonder, because I always think, well, okay, all right, Mr. Hotshot, like what makes you the fucking barometer of that? Maybe it was like kissing him was like Hitler for her.
Who knows?
Right? We don't hear those stories. All we hear is the men's side of the studio execs.
but
All this bullshit.
so by all accounts, she was, this movie was made in 59. She died in 63. The police report and all the official reports were of suicide by barbiturates.
Shit.
She like overdosed on them intentionally.
So she was up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
Probably fucked up
Right.
most of the
and
time.
her husband, not her husband, but the guy that was real supportive of her, helped her. He died. I don't think, or did they get married?
They
No,
didn't
I
get
don't think
married.
so.
He proposed to her. She said no, but they
Right.
did have a
But
relationship.
she still,
and they were very close.
and she still was, they were very close, and he died too. And,
Yeah, he helped her get like a big deal with Fox, and I think he died like 2 or 3 days after that deal landed.
Damn.
So,
So her life was train wreck right there. It
well,
was
yeah, she was like
spiraling out of control.
she was an orphan growing up. One of the foster homes she landed in, the father in the foster home sexually abused her. She was in like
Damn.
relationships and modeling when she was like in her, early teenage years.
Right.
Yeah, I think she had been abused by men her entire career.
So it wasn't just the saxophone players; it was
No.
all of them.
Yeah. And she was famous even before she made anything quote unquote good. Like, in terms of things that people say you should watch now, She was more of just like she started as a pinup model.
A pinup girl, right?
Yeah. She was on the cover of the very first Playboy magazine back in like 1948 or something like that. And she was in a bunch of like smaller movies, but her fan base was like rabid because of like how attractive she was in the movies. So she kind of had like an underground following, and she didn't like that. So she started doing like method acting. She went to like method acting classes.
A lot of acting classes and the like. Yeah.
And that started getting her into more like dramas and stuff, which started getting her more respect. And then she kind of blew up, and that ended her because, I don't know. Some people just can't handle that sort of thing. It happens all the time.
It seems like it would be a lot of work just to be yourself.
And it sounded like nobody was really that close to her, at least according to a couple of the people, Tony Curtis including, on the commentary track, was like, he blames the people she surrounded herself with for her downfall, because just like even the acting teachers he talked shit on, because
Really?
she'd fuck up a line. Like there's one famous scene in this movie where right when Tony Curtis's character breaks up with her over the phone, she like crosses the hall into their room to find the whiskey or the bourbon. And she goes like,
Right.
where's the bourbon? That took I have a lot of different accounts. It was either 40 or 60 takes between those two numbers with a guess in between of her saying those 3 words. Where's the bourbon? She couldn't say it. And it was partially because she was all fucked up. And it was partially because in between takes, she had these acting coaches, and we're getting into trivia really early now, but that's okay. Kind of driving away from John's negativity. Sorry, John.
Yeah,
but
no, go.
she couldn't get it because her acting coaches were like, in between takes, being like, all right, you have to think about how thirsty you're, the thirstiest you've ever been. You got to think like you're in a desert and you just want like whatever you have, like water. Think of like how desperate you'd be for water and you want this bourbon. And they're putting all this motivation. So she'd walk in and be like, where's the water? And they're like, no, you guys are fucking it up.
God.
Wow.
It's like, just say, where's the bourbon? That's all you need to say.
She's like, I don't want any fucking water. I want the bourbon. Fuck you.
She said, where's the bonbon once?
I mean, these are
Wow.
dumb things, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know.
But it's
Well,
weird because
at
This,
she's
this
all,
could
46,
also
I mean,
be
man.
a victim of like, 30 years gone by before they did the commentary and all these people's, thoughts are fuzzy and
No,
I
this
don't
is like,
know.
that stuff was well recorded at the time. Like Billy Wilder, the director, as soon as the movie was over, he had a party to celebrate, didn't invite her and talked shit on her until she died,
Damn.
basically. He said, she called him and said, fuck you to Billy Wilder, like over the phone. And he's like, I will never work with you again. You cost this, you made this movie's budget $500,000 over what it was supposed to be because of how long you took to do all this stuff. This is your fault.
yeah,
So pretty much-
man. But see how petty this is, though? Like,
Yeah.
you're arguing about something that you didn't even pay for. Like, what is he talking about? Who gives a shit? The studio paid $500,000 extra. Who cares?
Yeah.
Movie
but
did well. Everybody's
I
happy.
agree, but it's kind of his
What the
reputation
fuck?
too, right? It was his call to put her in the movie.
These people
Well-
are so far up their own ass. It's unbelievable. Your
Yeah, but even so, man,
you're fine.
if you got somebody who's like, tripling the time of your shoot, I mean, making everybody else wait. And then
yeah,
not
you know
being
who
able
that
to do
usually
lines.
is? The director. And no one gets to fucking
Right.
say shit.
Right. That's true.
So, like, fuck
That's
off.
fair.
So
You
what
know?
biggest problem with this is like Tony Curtis' character, the actor Tony Curtis who plays Josephine, he, 60 takes is a long time. Most of his energy, like a normal actor, would be spent in like the first 5 to 10 takes.
Yeah, I
So,
can't
like,
even imagine.
He would be sitting there losing energy. His performance definitely suffered from what he
Right,
said
right.
because of her.
Yep.
So he was pissed at her
Yep.
too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Jack Lemmon, however, only had good things to say about her. So that guy's
All
just
right,
fucking
good job, Jack.
positive as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all everybody's perception, right? And on the movie sets, these people, they've got skewed perceptions most of the time.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. When you start to hear about someone's troubled and all these people are giving them shit as if they're not troubled, I start to call bullshit.
Yeah.
They're all-
But it's weird how
They're
like
all,
with
they're all a
acting.
pain in the ass.
Yeah, but
That's all I know.
TC, to go with that point, the directors and producers are all stupid and up their own ass, but she brings her own personal problems to the set every fucking day.
Oh, right.
Like
As do
bad,
most of
bad
them.
problems. She would not keep a
Right.
job anywhere else.
No, but
Right.
then again, a lot of the big stars had this. I mean, you can hear
And they
about
still do.
Marlon,
What do you mean?
Marlon
They
Brando,
still do.
Yeah.
God, what's his name? Rosebud.
Orson Welles.
Yeah. God damn it.
They
Getting
still
old.
have these problems.
Can't remember his name. All I know is that there's a sled. Anyway,
He's the fat alcoholic in that Touch of Evil movie with the fake nose.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to this day.
But I think it kind of works. I mean, Christian Bale's one of my favorite actors. And have you listened to his tape from that Terminator movie where he flips out on the
yeah.
guy?
Oh, yeah.
He destroys the poor sound guy.
I kind of like his reaction to that.
Right.
As far as,
But do you really? No. Because, I mean, again, here we are.
Well,
We're talking about some bullshit.
It sounds.
Right?
It also
It doesn't
I don't
help.
know. I mean, maybe it's wrong. It sounds like somebody who might have a little bit of some kind of upper going on there.
uh-huh.
Yeah, it's non-constructive, put it that way. And
Yeah.
it's, it is a workplace that everyone has to go to and everyone has to be aware, It's just like how when you say, like, our versions of this are much smaller, right? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
that fucking asshole never comes into work. He's only here for 5 hours a day. Fuck them. It's the same, but I would never work with them again. And it's like, great,
Right.
who cares? Your check cleared, shut up. And then in this thing, it's like, yeah, great, who cares? Movie's made, shit's done, you're on your next project, relax. Everything's
enough.
fine, And then you figure, great, now this person's dead. What they should have been doing, I'll never work with you again. Are you okay? Maybe we should get you some help.
Yeah, he didn't do
Right.
that. Billy Wilder did
No,
not do
none
that.
of them didn't. They don't do
That's
that
fair.
shit, do they? They just bitch and moan about how it was all their fault, and then they get to fucking bitch and moan later too. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting so bent out of shape here.
No,
but
it's something definitely to get bent out of shape about.
I hear this shit, and I'm just always like, these fucking assholes. They're so far up their own ass. It's unbelievable. Everybody's the hero in their own story. I've been many times in my own story, and so I'm willing to call
Dude,
bullshit
and the
on
little
some of this stuff.
little leechy fish, whatever the sucker fish are that latch onto the side of whales, those little things? They're fucking
Yeah, what
everywhere
is that?
too. The little
Yeah, right.
One of the
You're not
guys.
going to swim? You're not going to go through the ocean anymore, whale, because it's like fucking thing sucking on inside of you? I don't think so.
One of the guys in this commentary was the son of one of the co-writers of this movie, not one of the two main co-writers, not Billy Wilder, not A.L. Diamond, whatever his name is, but one of the other ones, smaller ones, son of him. And he's sitting there like, yeah, that's right. I'm related to this movie. All right.
Yeah, all right.
And at the end, he's like, I
You
thank my
probably-
dad for giving me all these opportunities as a person. It made my life awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Family
Now I
buddy.
have a
For you,
fantastic
buddy.
house on Mulholland Drive. We love to hang out with everybody in this industry. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, Tony Curtis is an asshole too, man. It's too bad. 'cause
Yeah,
I-
they're all
Really?
I really
assholes.
liked him in this movie a lot. And he seemed like a nice guy just from the movie. Good
Yeah,
acting.
he did.
Yeah, but he's not. Like, at least he's not now. You could tell they recorded the commentary when he was like older because his voice is like this now. He sounds like this. But he would say things. He's like, they took a string and they ran it down Marilyn's crotch and then they wrapped it up through her ass cheeks so the dress would just hug the bottom of a melons and never seen anything like it, just bouncing around. Yeah, you don't get things like that anymore. All the
yeah,
women in
doesn't-
Hollywood these days look like Pee Wee Herman. That's what he said.
They don't. Jesus Christ. See, and you wonder why this fucking woman's doing a bunch of barbiturates
Yeah.
and telling everyone to fuck off. Yeah, okay, pal.
What's wrong with Pee Wee Herman?
man.
He's an attractive guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude,
know.
say that shit out loud now, you get punched.
I know. And the people doing, the entire commentary was sexist. It was more harmless than the movie was, or more harmful.
What?
More
More
God,
harmful.
you
There you
really,
go.
yeah.
I'm fucking
We
there.
knew what you
You've been there,
we knew what
I
you
got
were
it.
trying to say.
I got it. I was like, I
Took the
listened to myself
roundabout
talking.
way.
I'm like, nope, no again. Shit, I'm
Nope,
fucking it
that
up.
wasn't it. Nope, that wasn't what I meant. Nope, shit.
But yeah, they were all. How do you? And this is part of the reason I started with talking about how attractive Marilyn was, because how do you get past it? It's part of the movie, and it's part of what the movie's about.
It is the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
and I think for women,
Everybody, they make it very, very clear.
It's all your fault
Everybody-
that you're the best one in the movie. Fuck off. It's all your fault. They ran a string up your fucking thing.
if you weren't
Yeah,
so
I
hot,
don't
they
know.
wouldn't have done that.
If you were so hot, I wouldn't have been able to make this movie. It's your fault that I'm a piece of shit. Fuck.
Tony said at one point, I felt like I made this movie work.
Oh, shut up.
He was talking
Shut
about
up.
the scene where he
Wow.
ran up the stairs in high heels, and he's like, "Oh, look at that! I feel bad talking about myself, but I really feel like I made this movie work."
Yeah. I feel bad about talking about myself,
But I'm gonna do
here
it.
we go anyway.
I'm gonna do it.
I
I can't believe that was
just
him.
something like,
He called. He's like,
ah, shit.
"Here, here's
man.
another story from Tony. You want another story
Yeah,
from this
sure.
terrible Tony
no, I
impersonation?"
don't.
Yes,
Everyone
you do,
says,
TC.
No,
Yes, you
no,
do.
no, not me. Not me. I'm saying everyone at home's like, no.
You bring it. I mean, again, it does bring it. It's a really good point. Again, just that, like, listen to who these guys are. Imagine what it was like to be around them back then,
Right.
In
Like,
terms
who's
of-
really the asshole here?
in terms of working with them. And wow, I mean, yeah,
And think about it this way, right? Like whenever you find someone who's like, telling you off, right? Like I do this all the time. I tell people off and then I go home and I'm like, maybe I'm just projecting my own problems. You know what I mean? Like you start to think about it, you're like, just projecting there.
Yeah.
That wasn't like, I'm telling them they have these problems. Realistically, I got them times 10 right now. So like, you gotta wonder. Like I always hear shit like that too, especially when it comes to like older men, like older, like years ago, 50s, 60s. Bitching about an attractive, strong, empowered female, you gotta kind of wonder and take what they say with a grain of salt.
Yep.
The lens was on their side, not the female side. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
call bullshit.
No, and yeah, so Billy Wilder wasn't listed as one of the directors that gave her a hard time, which is surprising because I think she still had a pretty hard time with him. But there were directors that were condescending to her and like sexually harassed her all
Right.
the time. Most
Yeah.
directors.
Right.
Because why not? That's what it was. That's
Because
still
you're in
kind of what it is.
charge. It's happened still. Yep.
And especially when you're Marilyn Monroe. It's got to be,
Mhm.
that's what you're known for. That's what they want to utilize for their movies because that's what sells. So some part of it too, I feel kind of bad enjoying looking at her because it's why she ended up killing herself, basically, because I don't know how she looked and how the directors and like told the cameramen to film her and what they put her in and like all this stuff to make her look like that and be stupid in movies. And now I'm getting conflicted. Now I'm getting conflicted about liking it.
But again, now you're going down the road of like where it's just this is all in you. This has nothing to do with like the reality of what this film is at the moment, right? Because you also have to remember John brought up the plastic surgery, right? These people are also involved in some of this. Like everybody is a culprit of enjoying this, and it's why it's good is the fact that everyone's involved. It's not like one person's good, one person's bad, and the audience is, a heavenly angel.
Right.
Like, this is all part of the fucking whole thing that makes movies what they are.
And that's part of the point of the movie, too. It's just like, all right, you think there's all these, the backstory should matter with people. But hey, you're all watching Marilyn Monroe in this dress, all right? This is human nature. This is pretty basic, and it's not going away ever because it's built into all of us.
Right. Now, it's not good or bad. It's just what it is.
Yep.
And I'm on your side with, you don't want people feeling bad or killing themselves over this stuff. But at the same time, accounting is hiring. So, like, go do that if you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Right? No one has to be in entertainment.
No, she didn't fall into acting. She tried very hard to be an actress.
No. She was trying and wanted to be a serious actor.
Yeah.
Right.
Too.
And it sucks that what happened to her and made her mentally unstable. And, her, the drugs will do that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So one could argue the addiction problems need to be addressed if you can be successful in something like entertainment when all the stress of how these people react to you is part of your daily occurrence, right? Like my daily occurrence is like getting to work on time and grabbing a coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do that in the right cadence. I got the coffee first. Fuck, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? Like that's our day, right? Like it's a much deeper process. So it's hard to fucking know what's right and what's wrong with these types of situations when you're looking at it in hindsight. But I don't know.
But there's a lot of stories on this one. So, I mean, like even just thinking about the people who could have helped her out during the filming of this movie, like the actors or the director or anybody else working on the movie, she drank throughout the sets, like between takes on set. She would be drinking alcohol in the takes in this movie.
Poor thing.
She'd be drinking in coffee cups. She'd have there was one time where she's tripped, drunk, fell and spilled a coffee cup full of liquid. Tony Curtis thought was coffee, but he smelled it and it was champagne. So she was drinking the entire time.
Which makes you wonder when he smelled it in the movie, was he actually just checking it to see if it was?
He's like, all right, what do you got in here this time?
Yeah, right.
Marilyn.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop it. Like, no one was like, hey, dude, you got to chill.
Right.
They're like, all right, just wait for her to come in and then we'll get this thing done.
Screams like a bunch of yes men that aren't going to fucking do what's right for someone's health. They're just going to let it happen and then bitch about it because it's uncomfortable for them. Fuck off.
Yeah, and it's kind of, they chalked it up, too, to the fact that they knew what they were getting themselves into with this unstable person being Marilyn. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, well, all right, she's drunk. We knew this was going to happen. Everyone just waited off. All right, we knew this was part of it.
How awful is that?
Yeah.
That's awful.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Damn it. I love this movie.
It's not the movie, though. It's the people. That's sort of the thing. I think we need to separate the two at the moment. But
the people made the movie.
But the people in the movie as the characters are not so much the people that live in the real life that make up going to work.
But it's hard to fully love a movie if, a lot of the people in the movie and who made the movie, who wrote it, directed it, acted in it, did it.
Hey,
yeah.
Why do you think I can't stand movies now?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. No, but I'm with you.
You know what next week is, right, TC? You know what next week is, right, TC?
Is it Good Will Hunting?
Oh, my God.
Oh, fucking hey, dude. Get the beer. We're going to a Harvard bar.
You're saying you don't like movies. We're going to switch that next week. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, fucking hey.
Yeah.
You know? It's Mikey Carmine over there. Oh, is it? Let's go fucking pay him a visit.
All right, Tony Curtis is coming back. We told Billy this one day where we had this big cake and we were doing the cake takes. And we're doing some practice rolls here. And we had the guy coming in with the machine gun, popping out of the cake, doing some takes. And I was like, all right, Billy, I got this one way I want to do it. So we put this broad in the cake. She pops out, the biggest boom booms you've ever seen, totally naked. It's the funniest thing ever. The film must exist somewhere. Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh my God, this guy. Boom booms, huh? So he's been calling him since he was, 10?
Dude, it's weird. It's like
I like the boom booms.
Yeah.
Maybe he's demented now, and so he's just sort of a mess.
But if he did that prank, if he really put a naked girl as a joke during the filming of the movie.
Got the biggest boom booms ever, I tell you what.
It was funny.
Can you even imagine Tony Curtis in this movie with his pretty good, I thought, female voice, hilarious female voice.
True.
Doing that voice? How is that the same person? I couldn't visualize it.
Hold on. He's got the biggest boom booms. What? Yeah, two different people.
You should be a voice actor. That's fantastic. So different. John, you didn't laugh any part during the train scene. No part during the train scene?
No. Didn't laugh. Sorry. I am terrible. I have problems.
Hey, not terrible. It's fine.
Maybe you guys need to help me. I don't know.
No, we don't need. There's none of that.
When he was trapped in between all of the girls in the train car and they were tickling him out of nowhere.
Hilarious.
And he's like, stop it.
Josephine, help. Yeah, he's calling for help. Yeah. He's
And
using
she-
the right name too. How hard would it be to not use the name?
Oh,
right?
dude, they're so good at it. They're pros.
I know.
And when like Josephine comes over and is trying to get his attention, his head pops out from like a pile of legs, and then he just gets sucked back into the pile. It's pretty good stuff. I thought
it
hilarious.
was funny as hell, man. I really did. I thought it was funny. And maybe
all right.
maybe we're super insensitive too now, because right, like with all the gender role, issues that are out there, and we're over here laughing like, a man's a female. Oh my god!
I think the whole cross-dressing thing normalizes it, so that's got to be at least positive still.
I don't know.
Sexualization of, I mean, everyone's sexualized. I think. I mean, I
Well,
think
right?
girls would
Yep.
probably like the way what's his name looks, Tony Curtis. I think.
True.
I mean, he was supposed to be a stud back then, but it's hard to, I have no idea, especially when compared to like Marilyn Monroe. They certainly didn't dress him in such clothing as they dressed Marilyn Monroe. So,
Wow,
No,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I mean,
that's
not
true,
the exact
yeah.
same. I mean, he could have been like, they could have put him in a Speedo or something. I don't know.
No, but they had much more like scantily clad stuff on her than they did them. They
Absolutely.
were wearing like, yeah, I see what you mean.
So it's not totally equal there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the times, I mean, it was already pushing boundaries. It could have been extra confusing to all those states in the middle of the country if they were attracted to the men too, on top of the cross-dressing. I mean,
That's
we're talking
true.
like 5 states banned instead of just 1.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm doing my best not to make fun of those states right now, so I'm just gonna stay quiet
Why?
because I had a whole thing going. I'm like, just gonna back it down, just gonna dial it down a little bit.
Okay.
Just gonna bring it down. Just
Okay.
gonna dial it down a little bit.
Let's see. So Tony Curtis was the first choice to play Josephine, but Marilyn Monroe and Jack Lemmon were not the first choices to play Sugar and Daphne.
Huh?
I didn't
That's too
recognize.
bad. I mean,
Mitza Gaynor was the woman.
Hmm.
I don't know who that is, but I think she's a singer, like an actual singer from the sound of how they were talking about her. But the guy they wanted was, any guesses? Singer. Think about a singer, popular guy in the 50s.
No, I read who it was.
Okay.
So I think I know.
I don't know. So go
Frank
ahead.
Sinatra.
He appears
Oh,
often.
come
like,
on! Of course, Baby Blue.
The reason he didn't get it is because he skipped a lunch date with Billy Wilder.
Wow,
He was gonna like
fucking
pitch him the
A.
movie and stuff, and he's like, "Well, Frank's not getting it."
Wow, how about that? Imagine that. Imagine that. Like the fucking Sinatra. You're like, nah, fuck him. He's not taking. Yeah, this guy's not an egomaniac. Hey, this guy's not taking my fucking meat and fuck him.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the guy's probably like, I couldn't care less about this fucking movie. I see Marilyn at parties all the time. I don't care. I don't care.
but as soon as he did want Marilyn wasn't the first choice, but as soon as she freed up, she apparently had some other movie, but she dropped out, and they snatched her up immediately because they thought that would be, she was
Hey,
at the top of her game. Why not?
Yeah.
What was
I
the other
wonder.
movie we saw where Frank Sinatra was almost in it, but then wasn't?
oh,
He like blew up his own dressing van thing and like it caught on
I
fire and caused a
feel like
fire in
there's
LA.
been that one I didn't know about. The fire. I don't remember hearing that.
Why
I
can't
don't know.
Think of it. There's I wish I could remember. There's at least another movie we'd watched on this list where Frank Sinatra was almost in it, but he wasn't because he started a fire in his what was it? It was he was trying to impress some other famous actor who was in the movie, and he set off like one guy set off one firecracker, and then Frank Sinatra set off like 10, and it set fire to his trailer, and then it
Frank.
burned a bunch of trailers down, and it made like
hey,
headline
he,
news
dude,
and stuff.
he was on the fucking barbiturates too back then. That poor bastard.
Was he?
Yeah.
They're just prescribing that to everyone in Hollywood back then.
What do you mean? Duh.
They still fucking
Yes. Yeah.
do. They still do. Yeah,
Hey,
Tony Curtis. I got
Hey,
barbiturates left there. Yeah.
Dollywood. Take it, Ace. We'll get you the pills.
You know who
that
Tony
kind of
Curtis
shit.
sounds like? You ever seen that movie Man on the Moon
I believe so.
with Jim
Andy
Carrey?
Coppin?
Jim and
Andy Kaufman.
Andy
And
Kaufman.
he has that
yeah.
second guy, like his little weird guy, the fat guy, the Tony. His name is Tony too. Tony something or other. Tony Clifton.
Tony Clifton.
Okay.
Pretty fucking funny.
Clifton.
John, have you seen it
Yeah,
before?
I'm sure John's writing that down right now.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen that, John?
Nope.
You haven't. Put it on.
No.
Could make you laugh.
Okay. All
Probably
right.
not though, from the sounds of it.
Well,
No,
maybe
yeah,
not from
no.
what happened this time. Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Your funny button broke, dude. You got to fix it.
I know. Sorry.
I mean, this isn't, what we should be saying is the funniest thing you should laugh at.
No.
I mean, this is, yeah.
I was in a particularly good mood when I watched this movie.
This
which
is a
definitely helped.
1959 movie that I was expecting to be fucking atrocious. that surprised me by me laughing quite a bit. This is not something that like I would say it's the funniest thing ever made.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. Her boom booms were in the spotlight. That's not. Yeah, that's who cares.
More trivia. A lot of the gangsters in this movie were from old classic gangster movies.
What do you mean? Like
so,
actors?
The actors. Yeah, the actors are
okay.
like there were in other classic gangster movies. One of the ones they mentioned was Scarface, the 1930 something version of Scarface, which I didn't know existed, but
I didn't either.
Yeah.
That's a thing?
it's a thing apparently. And it was classic for its time. And there's a couple actors from that. There's like just a bunch of famous gangsters from like movies from the 30s and 40s in this movie. Called the weird faced dudes that are like surrounding the main bad guy.
Oh, how about that? Like the dummy one that like the big face, the big head.
Oh, dude, one of them looked like
the
Max
stupid
from Mary
voice.
and Max.
Dude. Oh, that's true.
He's like, duh, you come
That's him.
join us.
That's him. That's him. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, he does look like that.
Join us, John. Join us.
Boss. Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Hey, little boss.
What do you think, John? Mary and Max? He looks like him, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? Tony Curtis, big tits. Tony Curtis likes women with big tits, large. He
Tony
likes women with large
Hold
bottoms
on.
like battleships.
Can we go back? Tony, hold on. I'm running my finger down the page here. Tony Curtis, big tits.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
Large bottoms like
Tony
battleships.
Curtis likes big tits.
Mhm.
Bottoms,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Big, but they know how to move them. Yeah. They don't have to like
Come
that.
on.
Okay, thanks,
Oh,
Tony.
The boomers. What do they call? Jesus Christ, these
Boom
people.
booms.
Boom booms.
The boom booms. The boom booms. Hey, don't watch out for the boom booms.
Tony Curtis, one of the saddest things, definitely the saddest thing he said was that he knew Marilyn like it was 9 years or 10 years before this movie came out. That's when he had his affair with her when she was like up and coming. He worked with her on this movie, and he's like, I could tell she was like Marilyn wasn't there. She was dead in the eyes. Like whenever I looked her in the eyes.
it's the drugs.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh.
drugs.
Which sucks.
It
It's like
sucks,
really
yeah.
a sad thing to say.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you start to say to yourself, "Oh, this person isn't making problems for us. They need help."
Yeah.
But that was before that, right? Nobody did that then. They just let
No.
them go because it wasn't. How do I help someone else? It's how do they help me?
Yeah.
Right,
Or
there's-
like,
there's a
I don't want to get
difference.
involved with this. This is too much work. It's none of my
this
business.
isn't my problem. It's their problem. Now it's like it's
It's
all our
actually-
problems.
Actually, what Billy Wilder said, he's like, so working on this movie, he knew it was going to be hard working with Marilyn. There was a quote, so I'm going to paraphrase the quote. It was like, working with her was really difficult. I would yell and scream at her. There were 5 to 6 times where I like actually broke down, like raging at her. But I went home. I didn't eat dinner. I remembered I'm not married to this woman. It took a sleeping pill. Got up the next day, did it all again.
It's like that sounds sick in itself.
Yeah.
You all have problems. Every one of you has problems.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
Man.
listen to any of them. I don't buy any of their bullshit because realistically, their bullshit is real first world problems at its core, right?
Yeah.
Like what they should be more concerned with is like, I went home and said, "Oh man, this person's struggling. Maybe I shouldn't be such a prick." That's what they should be thinking.
This movie like leapfrogged. It happened one night as like the movie with the most conflict in the background and
Oh,
the
yeah.
most like lightheartedness being shown on screen. That's
I think
it's
that's
something.
a lot of entertainment, though.
It was.
It is.
It was mostly. It was all just in terms of like the other actors were getting along and were fine. It was in this case, like, and it happened one night. It's like nobody got along, right?
Right.
yeah. But I mean,
Lots of-
so the only people
yeah.
who really got along were Jack
Oh,
Lemmon
there's
and
also-
everybody else.
There's Chinatown too, by the way. I mean that one has a pretty.
yeah, Faye Dunaway is not easy to work with, but
Right.
Jack and the director were working together pretty good.
That's fair. I guess. Yeah, they were having a good time.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Then so
they
there
were
you go.
getting naked
These two-
together, taking drugs, driving around
These
their
two are
cars,
fucked
laughing.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. They're doing all sorts of shit. I don't give a fuck.
The maracas in that scene after the night where they danced like the tango and whatnot, they had a previous cut where those like Jack Lemmon didn't have the maracas in his hands, and they were showing it in test screenings, and it was so funny. They said that people would laugh over the jokes. So like the jokes came so fast that people would miss like half, 3/4 of the jokes because they were laughing so
wow.
hard at the previous one. So they're like, we need a way to make pauses between the jokes so people can take all of them in. So they came up
Right.
with the idea, like when they pitched it to Jack Lemmon, he's like, you want me to have the maracas in my hands? That sounds horrible. You ruined the best scene in the movie for me.
Mhm.
But then as soon as he started like getting into it, he's like, oh, wait, I can do this. This will be good.
Yeah. He was great.
He was awesome. He was the only actor in this movie to get nominated for an Oscar. I think probably deserved it. He did the most. He was the most energetic at the very least,
Yeah.
which is something.
Yeah, no. And he, I kept expecting his character to be jealous, and he never was.
Yeah, that was a weird part of the movie where it seemed
Yeah.
like he was the one who was going to go for Marilyn in the beginning.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely. It looked like
Right.
that was the case. Like he was working that angle, and yeah.
And whenever I
never
thought
did.
about that,
Never.
but then funny stuff started happening. And then I was like, wait a minute. Why is he helping out his friend by going on this date with this old creepy dude? But then they started having fun. I was like, oh, I guess that doesn't really even matter anymore.
Well, and actually, it really does. His character development in the beginning would show that he would do that anyways. Like he's going to gamble his winnings. He's going to gamble it on a dog.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it. He's going to do it. Like he is just his friend, so he's going to sit there and do it no matter what, which is also kind of crazy. But that's what I realized when I was waiting for him to get jealous because I thought that he liked her too, which he did.
Mhm.
But it just didn't seem like he was willing to go against his friend because he was more close to his friend. I mean,
that
it
his
was
friend will
very
strong
interesting.
arm him whenever he wants to.
Right, that's true.
What does
and
he say?
does.
He's like, I'm wiry, but I'm thin but wiry, or whatever he says.
Yeah,
Right,
and he's
yeah.
like backing up. He's like, fuck, he's going to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And he's going to tell me I'm hard to work with and I'm never going to work in Hollywood again.
Yeah.
You know,
I
And
can't take
there's
that.
Like some,
I can't take that.
there's some reality
soul-crushing.
in there. It's not just a movie, right?
Ooh, most of this is just shitting on Tony Curtis. All right. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Took a fair amount of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie Roadhouse. One of the screenwriters in the commentary was the screenwriter for the movie Roadhouse.
Really?
And the bellhop character, the creepy bellhop with like the little he pulls
yeah.
the bow tie type thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen Roadhouse, but apparently there's a character in Roadhouse that is that character. So trivia that I don't even understand, but that sounded fun. If you're a Roadhouse fan and you've seen this movie, some overlap there might made a connection. You know, who knows?
Yeah, it would have been like, hey, that's
Yeah,
the style.
actually, that makes
the
sense.
dialogue seems familiar to me.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
dialogue seems familiar to me.
the last piece of trivia I have is that last famous line was a placeholder that they wrote into the
Oh,
script
really?
because they couldn't think of anything better.
Oh.
And they purposely they shot that last part, not the very last, but like the last couple of days that when they were riding away in the boat, that was shot. And they couldn't think of anything. So they just put it in there and they figured they were going to do some reshoots because they did the reshoots of the maraca scene at the very least, but they also redubbed a bunch of lines. So once the shooting wrapped, they had more time and they knew that apparently before wrapping. But they wanted to get something down in the movie so they could at least time out the music and time out everything else. So they put that line in there and then they tested it and people lost their shit in the audience. So like
Wow.
the director knew it was a good movie, but he didn't know how good that line
Yeah.
was until he showed it to other people.
Wow.
It's kind of cool, I guess. You
Yeah.
know,
That's all I got. John, would you
Nice.
put this in the top 250?
Would
John,
you
come on,
put the
John.
boom booms
Put it in the top 250, John.
Would you
No.
put a boom
He's
boom
laughing.
in the
He's
top
laughing.
two?
Because
He
there's
kinda
no
laughed.
joy in my Nope.
This movie does not spark his joy.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to listen to my voice back doing that
kind of
voice.
like listen, like talking in that voice now. Like, hey, you like the boom booms? No, I don't. I don't love the boom
No.
booms. Yeah, you do. You love the boom booms. Jackie Kennedy, he loves the boom booms. I think we got a new character, folks.
Oh,
Oh,
we
God,
got
no.
we got Tony
Timmy
Clifton,
is
Clifton, everybody.
gone. Timmy's left the building. He's
Timmy, I
he's-
like.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like this guy.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo over here with the boom booms. Hey, fuck
Timmy
you,
seems like
Timmy.
a classy character next to this guy.
Fuck
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Timmy. You don't know shit about the boom booms. All right, pal. Fuck you, too. Oh, we're going to have a good time at Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Jesus, I feel
Oh, dear.
schizophrenic now.
yeah,
oh,
I am
God.
schizophrenic, I think. I don't know. Fuck you. Hey, what the fuck? It's Good Will Hunting of the bodies.
TC, would you put
Should
this in
be
the top
good.
250, though?
Fucking A, I would.
Yes, I would too.
This is like one of the only older movies that I thought was hilarious so
yeah.
far.
What movie is
Yeah.
I mean, it happened when Night was in the 30s. I think we all liked that one. I forget if TC liked that one.
We enjoyed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
yeah,
Apple
yeah,
Night.
yeah.
So that's way older than
yeah.
this, but this is still pretty goddamn old.
Yeah, I
Very
mean,
impressive.
It's got the black and white. It's old. That's all. I don't see years. I just see the color.
John, would you recommend this to people, though?
No, he wouldn't.
No.
Not really. No.
Okay. Seeing if there's a separation there for some reason. I don't know why I thought there might
You're
be.
trying.
I
You're
went
trying to
out on a
give me an out.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Just dig yourself a little deeper into that hole. All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, never mind then. Yeah, fuck it. This movie sucked, Chad says.
I did not enjoy it.
So next week,
Yeah.
John, you better not dislike this movie. You better not. It's against your
Right.
upbringing.
If you dislike this movie,
Uh-oh.
I don't know what we can do.
No.
Oh,
It's
no.
all-
We'll
yeah,
forget where
yeah,
we
okay.
ever met you in Boston is what we'll do.
If
I'll
you,
take
yeah,
that
if you
as a
can't
threat.
stay awake for this
I
one.
mean, I wasn't brought up in Boston, to be fair.
Well, he wasn't. He was.
I wasn't
yeah,
either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was brought up close to it
Yeah, Worcester is closer.
with people
Yeah.
from the area, at least. Yeah.
So this movie was directed by Gus Van Sant. The synopsis is Will Hunting, a janitor at MIT, has a gift for mathematics, but needs help from a psychologist to find direction in his life.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
popular movie, I think.
I think so.
It's one of the
Yep.
few movies that toes the line of being accessible and on this list.
Right? How about them apples? Let's do this.
Does it?
Yeah. How about them apples? Can we actually watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back as well?
Well, I
As
don't
like
know.
a companion piece?
Is
What?
that
Really?
a companion piece?
Have you ever seen it?
I don't know if I have.
There's a scene in it where they're filming Good Will Hunting
Wait,
2.
yeah, I've yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, and there's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon filming Good Will Hunting 2 in that movie, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I bet that's funny. Yeah.
At
mean,
least
I do
I'll send you a
love-
clip of that one part of that movie.
I can't wait to watch the retainer part. So I can't wait to watch this movie. I'm gonna watch it like 2 times. I'm gonna watch it.
Nice.
I might do the commentary too. 'Cause this
Oh,
is
yeah.
literally
There we
my
go.
favorite movie. So
Well,
I can't wait for this.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus
Sweet.
all the old Boston cars, the fucking cops. It's great.
The locations at the freaking garden.
Locations, dude. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
The
excited
triple
too.
deckers, the 3-deckers, triple deckers, whatever you're gonna call them. Oh, this is gonna be a good time, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
all right.
All right.
John's
good
like,
night, people.
all right, I'm hanging up.
I'm
John's
going
had
to bed
enough.
now.
John's had enough. Good night,
Thanks
folks.
for putting it up, John. Putting up with us
Yep.
once again. Yeah, thanks for listening. Mission 250 Filmcast is the website. Like, subscribe, and review us on your favorite podcast app or on Facebook and Twitter. And I think that's it.
Good night, John.
Timmy, did you have any commentary on the film?
No, I just, just looking at the boom booms.
It's your fault, John. He said it one more time because of you. It's only your
All
fault.
right, fine.
All right, boys.
All right, later, guys.
Have a good
See you
day.
guys.